Hey, welcome to Nutrisystem Live. We're just coming back because we have taken a little bit of a break for summer, but we are here and ready to talk about the grocery guide. Tonight, you're in for a treat because we have our lead moderator here, Ryan, and he's going to talk to you guys about the grocery guide. So I get to learn about it, and you guys get to learn it. So let's meet Ryan.
Hey everybody, my name's Ryan. Really excited to be here with you tonight. I've been with the company for about coming up on 7 years. I was a weight loss counselor for 4.5 of those, so I'm kind of a seasoned vet here. But I am very excited to talk to you about this and looking forward to any questions that you have.
So let's start with questions I have. So this is great. So what we did was we posted we did a post earlier to find out if anybody had any questions. Turns out a lot of you people like the fact that we're going to have questions about the grocery guide, but not a lot of questions. So when I think about the grocery guide and all of the pieces that you get in your kit, so I was asking Ryan, so what do you get in the grocery guide that you don't get someplace else? And what kind of strategies can you use when you're going to the grocery store? You're taking the grocery guide with you. How does this piece of paper, this little booklet, how does this help you?
Yeah, well, I think anybody that's on I think anybody that's on Nutrisystem really knows that the grocery guide is very important. In the beginning, it kind of tells you a little bit. Not a whole ton of information in terms of like an extended list, but it gives you some guides. So like you'll have your power fuels and your smart carb page, your vegetables, and with the power fuel you'll see it's 80 to 120 calories, at least 5 grams of protein is what you're looking for, and then just having that list. And then with smart carbs 80 to 120 calories again, and then you'll be looking for at least 1 gram of fiber. And so having that guide even at the beginning when you are going grocery shopping, before you kind of feel prepared for it, I think it gives a sense of ease so that kind of what you're doing when you go there. You can go right in and out, and because we all know that going to the grocery store can be a little nerve-wracking, especially if you're trying to find what's healthy for you. So having that grocery guide really helps give you a guide to what you should buy at the grocery store.
This is true. The grocery store can be really daunting to a lot of people. I know, because when you go in, you're like, okay, I'm trying to eat healthy. How do I do this? I have this guide. I'm trying to pick out things that are healthy for me. I know I can eat all these vegetables, the non-starchy ones. But anyway, I can eat all the vegetables that I want. So I'm looking for the non-starchy ones, and then I'm also looking for ways to supplement with smart carbs and the power fuels to make sure that I'm eating right. So so when you're shopping, like, how do you do this for like a week at a time? Is that what you recommend? Is it somebody goes in for a week? So you kind of get your Nutrisystem kit, your meals, if you did your nuclears or whatever, and then you go out to supplement. So let's say you get it on a Saturday, and then you're going to go grocery shopping. So how much stuff should you get? What should you sort of plan for? Are you reaching for like 3 meals a day? How many of these things can we get?
Yeah, definitely. Good question. A lot of stuff to think about there. I think that after you're finished your first week and you are starting to add your grocery additions, the thing that I think is important to remember is, which I know is hard when people have families, but is that when you're trying to lose weight and you're on a diet, it's really about you, And so like I think that a lot of people like to think about it as you should think about what you need first, so that you can make sure that you're getting that, and then as you're moving along, try to think about the rest of what you need for your family. I know a lot of people that I talk to do tend to buy for a week if they can, but if you're a person that likes to go to the grocery store like I do, I enjoy the grocery store. Sometimes you might want to break it up. It might be, sorry, a little technical difficulty there, but you might want to break it up to go in a couple times a week. And I think a lot of people, what they try to do is stay on the outside, is a lot of how they is how they try to handle it, because the outside typically has what you need, like your fruits and vegetables, and then it has your dairies, which can go for your power fuels. It has the breads, meats, and things like that. So that's always a good strategy to start off with. And I think that some of the things you want to do, basics, is make a list for sure, because if you know what you're going in for, then it makes you less likely to kind of stray, and then you won't be, you don't get get tempted by other things that you might have to, that, you know, you usually would get tempted by. And then also I think there's other tactics, like for me, like I try not to go into the grocery store after I've worked out, because if I am hungry and I go into a grocery store, the first thing that I look at might look good, and that could be a cookie or something like that. So I typically try to make sure that I feel pretty satisfied when I've gone in. Like maybe I'll go after work, or I'll set a specific day. I think that's also important. Try to set specific days so that you know that you're going in there. It's just like anything else with dieting and using Nutrisystem. I think planning is really important. So having that list, not going hungry, and, you know, trying to get in and get out.
Well, good information. And let me just give a little shout out to Liz, who said hi. Hi, Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Hey, say hi to her.
Hey, Liz.
Anyway, so a lot of great information there from Ryan. So first of all, don't go to the grocery store hungry. I think I'm guilty of this. Totally guilty of this. And I actually really love going grocery shopping. So it's something we got in common. Grocery store shopping is kind of like, you know, I go there because it's food. I like food. Anyway, so Ryan, oh, hi, Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
How are you? Anyway, so Ryan says to, when you're going grocery shopping, to stay on the outside. Don't go hungry, go on the outside, go with the list, go with the plan. So all these things are really great great strategies when you're going grocery shopping. And stay, you know, keep yourself at the forefront. So he was saying, oh, Cindy just started last week. Well, good luck, Cindy. Yes. So you could actually start using the grocery guide this week, because the first, assuming you did turbo takeoff. Anyway, so if you... So this is where you would start using that. So so stay on the outsides, and then look for those fresh veggies, those, and then the power fuels in the dairy aisle. And you know, when you're going with the grocery guide, this is a new piece of information. It's a different way of thinking about food. So I think that's a challenge for people. So when you're thinking about, you know, these are vegetables, these are power fuels, these are smart carbs, and these are different ways that I can sort of spend them. So do you want to talk about that a little bit and how that works?
Yeah. First, hi, Cindy. Great, congratulations getting started. We're really excited for you. Feel free to ask any questions. You know, when you're starting to kind of incorporate these, now, of course, you'll have your meal planner to help you know exactly how many you have to add. But I think, again, remember that on Nutrisystem, I think a big part of getting in your grocery additions and planning is that you are allowed to move things around to fit your appetite and your schedule. So, you know, if a power fuel at a certain time doesn't really work, or you're feeling like you want to have fruit in the morning, I think that it's, you know, moving it around is totally fine. You just want to try to make sure you're eating every 2 to 3 hours. And then the other thing I wanted to mention just kind of about the grocery store is that a lot of people would say, well, you know, sometimes it's unavoidable to go inside, you know, like and not stay on the outside. And that's definitely true. But that's why planning is definitely important. Thanks for
Liz again.
Yeah, we all know. Yeah, well, Liz, yeah, that's why I was mentioning it. You know, like the inside does have some stuff that you are going to need, you know, and also I think the other thing too is that sometimes you want to buy in bulk. Like, you know, some people ask us while we're moderating, can we use canned vegetables? Well, of course you can. You know, you just want to kind of rinse them off, but those are on the inside. You know, they're not always on the outside, and that's you know, so that's something that you might want to go on the inside for. And then in terms of just planning, again, using that daily tracker, making sure to, you know, move things around to fit your appetite and your schedule. And then just knowing how much you're supposed to have. You know, for some people, it's 3 power fuels and a smart carb, or 3 power fuels and 2 smart carbs if you're on a different program. And keeping that in mind. Sometimes, and then after a while, I think it becomes like clockwork for a lot of people. So, it feels like a lot of food as I start this week. Well, yeah, Cindy, we do get that a lot too. But we can tell you that, again, like with planning and with spacing things out, like every 2 to 3 hours, sometimes people will take their groceries and combine them with other things so that they don't necessarily feel like they are eating so much, like at different periods of time. Like maybe if you're having a salad, you can throw on like 2 ounces of ham or turkey as a power fuel, so that helps you to combine some of your non-starchy vegetables you have to have with the power fuel, and then you can have that with your entree, you know. So planning like that, I think, really helps people get stuff in.
I totally agree. And the grocery store, they can trick you because sometimes the canned vegetables on the inside can be like on the same aisle as like the cereal or like the cookies, which totally messes me up because then I'm like, I was here for green beans and I'm picking up chocolate chip cookies. So no, you don't need to do that. Pick up the green beans; they're much better for you. But Cindy, it is a lot of food when you first get started, and you know, you have to eat every 2 to 3 hours. You're trying to pump up that your metabolism, so you're starting to eat a lot more and smaller meals and that kind of stuff. So while we're here with Ryan, we were going to ask him. Personal questions. Hey, it's time for the personal question segment of this. So they're not too bad, but Ryan has worked here for about 7 years. And so what I want to ask him is, what's the best part of working for Nutrisystem?
Wow. Well, there's a lot of great things. I get to work with a lot of great people, like Linda.
Right answer. Ding, ding, ding.
I have a really great team that I work with. But really, I have to say, over 7 years, I've heard a lot of stories of a lot of people having success with Nutrisystem and really getting through some very, very tough stuff to get there. Because a lot of times when we're trying to be healthy and like eat well and stuff like that, that is in collaboration with a lot of other stuff that we're trying to deal with, like having our families getting through work and going through sometimes some tragedies, unfortunately, but also like going on vacation, all these things, with food, it's everywhere, and you have to have it. So I've heard some really amazing stories from really great people out there, and even people that like just felt like they couldn't keep going. They just kept with it, and eventually like it just kept going, and they got to where they wanted to go, and so like I think that having that ability to serve you guys out there and try to help you achieve your goals is what keeps me ticking and keeps me coming every day.
I actually think that's great. So on the same sort of thing, I love the people in between, like in the middle of the story. So I love it when people get there, and I love it when people start, but I really love to see the people that are just plowing through. They've got, reached a plateau and they're continuing to go. I love that. So it's just so inspiring. So let's see. Melanie wants to know, when it comes to working out, how long should you work out each day? First of all, make sure you consult with your doctor before you work out, but Ryan can answer this for you.
Hey,
Melanie.
Melanie. Hi. Thanks for the question. As Linda said, consult with your physician always, but I think it's definitely different for everybody. People have different plans. Typically, we recommend 30 minutes 5 times a week. We know that not everybody can start off doing that, so it's you have to work your way up. Find what exercise works is your favorite. Start with maybe like 10 minutes and then work your way up each day, or like say you'll do 10 minutes a day for a week, and then you'll try to increase it a little bit each time. So I think that's good. I mean, any type of physical activity you can do at all is good, even if it's just walking. A lot of people do walking. And then also don't forget about your kind of little things that you can do, like parking farther away from the store, the grocery store if you're going to it, or work, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, just like doing stuff like that. If you're at work and you're sitting a lot, just make sure to stand up every 20 minutes or so, just kind of like get a buzz and walk around, set an alarm maybe. Just so that you're keeping moving. So I think that will make you feel like you're getting some movement in every day.
So I'm going to tell Ryan right now. He takes the elevator. He does. We're on the 3rd floor, and he takes the elevator every single time.
I do. It's true.
I take the stairs. Yeah. Except for when I'm with Ryan, because then I'm like, whew, Ryan's going to take the elevator, so I'm going with him. Anyway, so Ashley says she just started. Okay, so she just started. How much should I exercise? Okay, so again, the same sort of answer there. Consult with your. Will I still lose weight if I can't work out? Yes, you will. And Ryan can answer this better than I can, but yes.
Hey, Ashley. Thanks again for so many questions. The average rate of weight loss is 1 to 2.5 pounds a week, and that is whether you are exercising or not. The one thing that I would say to you that in my experience with working with so many people over the years is that making sure that you have the eating part down right of the program is definitely the most important part. So make sure that you are focusing on that. But if you can't get out, again, maybe try to use some of those smaller things that I talked about. But if you can't exercise, just make sure you're eating correctly and using the program as much as possible. Exactly. So that you're getting in the right amount of calories and everything.
Yeah, I love it that you don't actually have to work out. Working out is really good for you, but sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it's not part of, maybe you have bad ankles or whatever, and maybe you just got to wait till you get to that point where you can exercise a little bit more. Faith says, when I'm at work, sometimes I lose track of time. I'll eat my Nutrisystem breakfast and Parafuel before I know it. If it's lunchtime, how do I make up for the food I missed? Okay. These are good questions. So, I actually have a couple, but Ryan can answer these, and then I have some. So, as far as the eating and forgetting that, are you saying that you forgot to eat completely? Because what I would do is I would say that whenever you're going to eat, like don't work and eat, because then you don't feel the satisfaction of eating. But that's just me, and I know Ryan has a good answer, so here you go.
Hey, Faith, thanks for the question, and hi, by the way, Beth. Faith, when you forget to eat something, again, don't worry about it. Don't panic or anything. Totally all right. We do want you to try to eat at least every 2 to 4 hours apart if you can. But what I would tell you is just continue on your day just regularly like nothing had happened, and have the rest of your power fuels and smart carbs towards the end of your day. Like just plan and move things around, because you guys are allowed to do that. We understand that people have different schedules. Sometimes you forget to eat. Maybe you're at a meeting and you don't have enough time, and so before you know it, again, it's lunchtime and you haven't had something. So all those things are totally normal and definitely happen. So you just want to make sure to move things around, make sure that you get it in later, and then you'll be fine. And then, again, too, if you know that you're going to have one of those days, like we all have sometimes, where it's just like meeting after meeting or something like that, I would just recommend planning on making sure your power fuels and smart carbs are combined with your salads or with your entrees or something like that, so that you can just know that you'll get it in. And then sometimes if you have to, set an alarm. People do it. I've talked to many people that do it. And I would also, I know at work for me, like I always reserve time to eat lunch, like just to kind of unwind, but just to make sure I'm getting everything in. So you might want to consider doing that if you have the ability to.
Nothing is more exciting than that lunch bell going off, I gotta say. So Beth said, lost 6.5 pounds in 5 days, but it stopped. I get hungry still after 2 weeks, and I never forget. You know what, Beth? I never forget to eat either. If they say it's time to eat, I'm like, I'm eating. Anyway, so let's turn the question over to Ryan, because you lost 6.5 pounds in 5 days, which actually that's really, really a lot. But you're still getting hungry after 2 weeks, so hang on.
Hey, Beth. Thank you. Thanks for your question. Definitely understand where you're coming from here. 6.5 pounds in 5 days. Congratulations. That's great. It's definitely getting hungry after 2 weeks. I mean, it's normal. Like it happens. People, still get hungry sometimes. What I would recommend is that you see if you can increase your vegetable servings, because remember that all non-starchy vegetables are unlimited. We recommend 4 a day, but you can have them in unlimited amounts if you want to. Beyond that, we just recommend that you at least get 4 in. And I would say that you might want to consider getting in dense leafy greens such as like broccoli or spinach, stuff like that, to try to help fill you up. Sometimes having them raw rather than cooked is better, because it fills you up more. When they're cooked, they're not as easily they're even more easily digest, so it could move a little quicker and make you feel hungry. And then also with your bringing it back to your grocery guides, and I would recommend with power fuels, Greek yogurts typically have a high protein count, so you might want to invest in some of those and see if that helps a little bit. And also with your smart carbs, you can find things that have skin on them, like apples, pears, stuff like that, because they're more fibrous that way. So you might want to try a combination of all those things. I know I gave you a lot of advice there, but it definitely gives you a couple of options to go with, and we can and hopefully that can help. So.
Leafy greens. Vegetables are your friends. Vegetables should be your best friends. So this is sort of the mantra we say all the time, is you should really learn to fall in love with veggies, because veggies, can definitely fill you up. And but Beth, no, I never forget to eat either. Okay, so Raymond says, reach a plateau and the weight loss is slowing down. Exercising and following strictly. Raymond, that is excellent. So let me turn that over to Ryan, because he can definitely help you out.
Hey Raymond, thanks for your question. Definitely, and you're welcome, Beth and Faith. Thanks for your questions. Raymond, plateaus definitely happen. Sometimes they happen for just like a week, and then it'll pick back up again. I feel like I'm in a plateau every other week. So you just have to try different things. But what I would recommend is maybe switching your lunch entree with your dinner entree. Have your dinner entree at lunch entree at dinner. It might kind of break the cycle of what you've been doing. I typically like to do that just in general. Gives me like a lighter dinner. And then also, if you've been having your power fuels and smart carbs at the same exact time, like switch it up a little bit. Maybe have that that power fuel that you have at 2 p.m. at 8 a.m. And then also, I think that with your exercise, if you can always increase it. Usually that kind of puts a more of a load onto your body, and helps you burn more and stuff like that. So it may help you do that, and so that can definitely help as well. So some of those tactics are usually the first things that people do, but if you try some of those and you're still having problems, definitely reach out to our counseling department. We have a ton of ideas for you.
It's true. We have a counseling staff that is waiting for you to call and say, hey,
really
I need
great.
your help. They're really great. They're really good people. Anyway, so we've done a bunch of Facebook Lives with those guys before. Anyway, so we are going to return to the personal question portion of this show with Ryan, and just to find out what his favorite entree is, because I always want to know what the favorite entree is.
Wow. So there's I like a lot of them, but I would have to say my favorite is the double chocolate muffin. And I think
it's not an entree.
Well, it is. I mean, that's definitely my favorite breakfast for sure. If we're going with dinner, I mean, I can't get enough of the whole wheat ricotta crepes. So is that an entree? Okay, good. All right, yeah. So the whole wheat ricotta crepes is definitely my favorite dinner right now. It's funny, like when I place my order, I'll get like 20 of them. I just never get sick of it. Oh, great, Beth, we have something in common. That's awesome. So both of these entrees are definitely my favorite. For dessert, I'm definitely an ice cream guy. I could eat ice cream every single night. I love chocolate too, Beth. Hopefully everybody else in the world does. But I could eat ice cream every night. And then for lunch, I typically that white cheddar mac and cheese is just so good. If you haven't had it, definitely give it a try. So those are a couple of my personal favorites.
Well, that's really good. I love it that the double chocolate muffin is a favorite of mine, but I don't consider it an entree. I mean, I know I love chocolate, but considering it an entree is not. Anyway, so Cindy says, I have some upset stomach issues. Is that normal? That's Ryan. He knows.
Hey, Cindy. It definitely happens sometimes. A couple of suggestions I can give you is kind of on the flip side of things. If you have been eating a lot of dense leafy greens, you might want to choose some like lighter colors, maybe some like orange or yellow peppers. You may actually want to consider cooking your vegetables because they are usually more digestible that way. And also, if it really continues, just contact our counseling department. Just see if there is anything in addition that they can talk to you about. Some people try to kind of go light on the heavier entrees for a couple of days. You know, maybe a little bit less dairy, you know, things like that, and just see if those things help you. But if it does persist, give us a call, because we would definitely want to talk to you about that. And Liz, the mac and cheese is amazing. Oh, you add broccoli to it. That's great. Oh, and some grilled chicken. You really make that your own. That's great. That mac and cheese is definitely one of my favorites.
Liz, you got some great suggestions there. Mac and cheese with broccoli and grilled chicken. Actually sounds pretty good right now. Anyway, so Cindy, if you're having trouble with any of that, if you're having stomach issues, please, you know, contact your doctor. But if, you know, you think, you know, it's just something, maybe you're eating something different, counselors are here to help, and they'll definitely guide you in the right direction. And Teresa says the pizzas are her favorite.
Oh, who doesn't like them?
I'm with you, Teresa.
Yeah,
I like
I
the
love
pizzas.
pizzas too.
Nothing wrong with pizza. I love it too. So let's ask Ryan one more question, and that question is, what's your favorite smart carb? I think we may have covered this already, but what's your favorite smart carb and or power fuel? So why don't you answer it?
Tough one. Because I love food, so there's a lot of different things that I like. But for smart carb, typically I find myself eating bananas because it's my favorite type of fruit. I'm definitely a fruit person. Like, I try to eat whatever's seasonal, like, where we're at now, like, we have really good plums and peaches, so, both of those things are definitely, good. And for power fuels, I am definitely a Greek yogurt fan. Like, I just love yogurt. I could eat it every day. So, it's definitely, especially, you know, now that there's so many different varieties these days, I think that it gives me the ability to have Greek yogurt all the time and just not feel like it's getting boring, because they're coming out with all sorts of different things. You know, pretty soon it's going to be fall, and my favorite's pumpkin, so that will be coming out. I'm really excited about that. So I really love the yogurts and fruit.
Fruits and yogurt, you can't go wrong with those. So we have answered a ton of questions tonight, and I'm glad that, you know, you like the fruits and for smart carbs and the Greek yogurts. I mean, think that that's great. He didn't say that he likes kale too, and he does. He loves kale, and Kale and I, we don't. Anyway, so it's a running joke, and so I tease him about it, so I couldn't miss the opportunity to do that. And I wanted to say thank you to everybody who joined us tonight, and I'm going to toss it over to Ryan for him to say, oh, wait, hey, Melanie wants to know, where is Marie Awesome? She should be with you guys. You know what? She should. But she's actually I think she's in Vegas. I think she's in Vegas. She's got a show this weekend, so, you know, she should be here with us. Totally. Yeah. So I'm going to let Ryan sign off.
Yeah, thanks very much for joining us, Melanie. I would love Marie to be with us. Will this be available for replay? It will be, Deanne. You will be able to watch this again. And definitely, if you want to see more videos, subscribe to us at the close of this video, okay? But I really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We do. It's really, we love our fans, and we love being able to help people achieve their goals. It's what makes us tick, ultimately, you know. And so keep sharing your stories, sharing your successes, and really, if you have any suggestions, let us know, and we hope, you know, I hope you guys have a great night and a good weekend.
It's true. We love hearing from all of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Beth.
And thanks, Beth. And thanks, everybody. Oh, and Chanel said, great job, Ryan.
Thanks, Snehal. I really appreciate it.
Anyway, so oh wait, shoot, lost my audio. Yes, it'll happen in the replay. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for another Nutrisystem Live, and thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care.
Goodbye.